Hey there, welcome to Hobie on YouTube. I'd like to talk about D. Peres knives, Daniel Peres knives. Daniel Peres was an old line cutlery company out of Solingen, Germany. I know they were one of the first producers of the Swiss soldiers' knives. They were only one of two German companies to make the Swiss soldier knives, they and Wester. They made Swiss soldier knives from the very beginning, 1891 up through 1920, I believe. But I learned a little more about them from Levine's guide, so here paraphrasing. In 1792, Daniel Peres, at the ripe old age of 16, started his own cutlery trading business. Because he wasn't a privileged guild member, he couldn't make his own knives. So in 1805, he petitioned Duke Maximilian for permission to be the first in Solingen to manufacture fine penknives. He argued that no such thing was being made there, so the guild rules banning competition didn't apply. Well, the Duke agreed and granted him permission, and he soon began operating Solingen's first water-powered pocket and penknife factory. So I think D. Peres was the first maker of pocket knives out of Solingen, Germany. I have two D. Peres knives here on the table. One is a six-bladed camp or tourist style knife, more in the European style, and the other is a four-bladed scout knife, really more in the style of American scout knives. So I think this is the younger knife, and I'll give you a look at it. It's a six-bladed tourist knife, so very much like a Swiss Army knife. These handles are plastic. Now some of the older ones will be compressed black fiber, but you can see here they've got bird's eye rivets. And yeah, so the four tools on top, two in the back, and I'll just run through them really quickly. Screwdriver cap lifter. No markings. The old style can opener. A pen blade. And here you start to see their logo. I'll show you this in a couple different places, but D. Peres's logo, at least since 1885, was a beer barrel. So how cool is that? What could be more German than a fine Solingen-made pocket knife and beer? The neat thing about that logo, if you look really carefully, you know, the beer barrel not only has a tap in the end, but it's got a stopper on top. And then the main blade on this one. It also has the logo, and it's actually embossed in the blade. And then the tang is going to be D. Peres Solingen. Nothing on the reverse. And then on the back, there's the corkscrew. He's always had a corkscrew. Nice brass liners. And an awl, which is really cool because it's got a sewing eye in it. You know, it's the old three-sided, European style awl, I call them. I don't know what that is on there, excuse me. But a little piece of fuzz or something. But it's got a sewing eye in it, and it's been patented. So that's the German designation for a patent number. Very cool. I think this knife is probably from the 50s, 60s, maybe even as late as the 70s. This plastic, I'm not really sure what it is, but it could just be celluloid. The second knife, the Scout type knife, I think is older, probably from the 40s or maybe even the 30s. It is more traditional in style with the bolsters and the bone covers and the pin-on shield here, gimp shield, I guess banner style. I really like these bone covers. They've got this groove in them that kind of reminds me of like cattaraugus. Really just in great shape, great color. But, I said this is a four-bladed scout knife, kind of in the American tradition, but it has some really important differences. It's really pretty cool. First of all, you'll notice the bail is at the main blade end, instead of back here where they typically are on U.S. knives. That's nice. I like that because you can't close the blade on the bail and nick the edge. But that's not where the differences stop. If you'll look carefully, you'll notice that the opening tools your screwdriver, cap lifter, and can opener are on the back side of the knife, where on the US knives are typically on the front. And then on the front you have your awl, and it's exposed, so there's a cut out there with an exposed bail, and that's different. And then this awl also has the sewing eye. And it's a little bit worn out here, but also the German patent number. So that's the awl. Very functional, very cool with that sewing eye, elongated sewing eye. And again, that's in the front. We'll go back to the main blade. Here's the tang stamp. This one reads D. Peres Solingen Germany. And on the back, we've got the beer barrel logo. And I think we find that again on the screwdriver. Yes, right there. Screwdriver I like because it's got this tapered front end. It's kind of roughly done, but that's a nice feature. I don't know if someone did that or it came from the factory like that. And again, the can opener. It's really got narrow jaws. I think it would be hard to use, but there it is. Seems pretty beefy. Yeah, and so that, you know, typically I would say, oh, there's the front of the knife, right? But that's not the way the blade opens. The blade opens this way. So it's really all kind of reversed. Very different. I thought that was really cool when I saw it, so I snatched it up. They don't cost much, or at least I didn't have to pay much for this one. And I see another one on eBay right now. It will be sold by the time this video is posted. But I don't know, with like a day to go, it's only like at 40 bucks or something. So I think if you're interested in some quality German cutlery from a really storied company, you might want to look for some D. Peres knives. I've got one more to show you. And I want to tell you that D. Peres also imported knives to a company called Magnetic Cutlery Company in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that was like their U.S. importer. And Magnetic imported a lot of these, what were called like souvenir knives. Here's one that I have that was a gift from my dear friend Dave Arnold, Winger Collector Extraordinaire. And these typically will have aluminum handles embossed with, you know, some kind of scene from the place that people were visiting, and you know, they were sold as souvenir knives, and they'll have a main blade and a pen blade. This one was from Paris, obviously. If you look closely, you'll see that's the La Place de la Concorde. There's the fountain in the middle. And I want you to look very carefully. We might have to use super zoom here, but I'm thinking this is a pretty old knife because they're depicting people there being pulled around in horse-drawn carriages. On the back is the Eiffel Tower. And then the blades. It's really got a cool main blade. This nice long pull, very well done. Nice long swedge there. Swedged all across the back. And this one just has the beer barrel logo. I don't believe it says D. Peres on it anywhere. And then here on the reverse side is the small pen blade, also with a long pull, also swedged. And again, the beer barrel logo on the tang. So that's a cool knife. Very historic. I don't know how old it is, but I'm thinking it's pretty old. And it's a nice example of the type of knives that D. Peres sent over to the U.S. to be imported by the Magnetic Cutlery Company of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that's just a little information on Daniel Peres, the Solingen cutler, their history, and a look at 3 of their knives. Hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.